I'm not very good at stuff like this.
Why not?
I don't know.
Have you ever done anything?
No, I don't get interviewed for things like this. I don't know that many people actually do them in Luton, do they?
Do they? I thought there's a couple of podcasts in Luton, isn't
Well,
there?
if there are, I haven't been on them.
Oh, well, here is your first one.
Wow, fantastic.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Luton's Deadpool. This is Luton's Deadpool podcast. Today, my special guest, whose name I've been really trying hard to learn, which is stupid because it's a really normal name, but I just get it wrong every time I see you. It's Lauren Connelly. There we go. I said it right first time.
You did. Well done. We've done it. We finally got there.
Okay, can I go home now?
Yeah, we're done. That's it.
Now, how are you, Lauren? You good?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, I'm
Good stuff.
just chilling. How are you? Okay.
I can't complain. I've had a little bit of time off over the last month. People kept saying to me that I need to take a bit of time for myself because I kind of been doing a lot.
Yeah.
And it was genuinely all getting on top of me. And, I may or may not have had a tiny mental breakdown. No, it's fine now, honestly. I just, you know how it is, just in life, you get moments that are hard, and sometimes it's good to just step away and have some self-care and look after yourself, and then you can step back into things with a renewed interest and with a smile rather than a frown, which is better.
I think that's correct, and I think you're really right that you need to really take some breaks for yourself. I find that I'm really not great at doing that.
Yeah.
So taking time for yourself is so important, because otherwise you'll just fill your time with so much stuff, and then you'll just crash. I feel like that's where I get to a point where I'm like, I'll suddenly get really unwell and then I'll just crash. Yeah,
that's the problem, because you don't foresee that that's what's going to happen. You're going to become worn out, right?
Exactly.
And nobody likes that. But we're all great at giving advice to people. It's that taking it for yourself is really hard.
Very good advice, but don't follow
I never do that. I've tried talking in the mirror to give myself advice. Still doesn't work. I don't know how to do, leave notes around the house, make sure you do this. And
little reminders.
Yeah, no, that doesn't
app
work.
on your phone to pop up and go.
I've got alarms. I've got alarms set, time to take a break. Yeah. And I'm like, nope.
I'll do that later. And then it's like tomorrow. And
yeah, exactly. It's so annoying. But anyway, enough about what I'm talking about. Let's talk about you and why you're here and what you're doing, and why we know each other and stuff. Because you're one of the many people who I've met as being Deadpool and nothing else, and you don't know what I look like or who I am, or it's kind of weird, I guess. I don't know.
A little bit, but it's fine. It's fun.
Yeah,
I mean, you're doing it for a good cause, aren't you? And the thing is, we're always bumping into each other at events, because I'm often working the events, and you're often there doing your fundraising and kind of coming along and saying hello to everybody as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice, actually, because we're always meeting at really nice points of the year. There's always some real good fun happening when we're kind of.
That's actually a great point. I didn't think of it.
Don't you think?
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Because we worked, St. Patrick's Day was the last time I probably saw you.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple of things in the February half term where I was in town and we were doing Under the Sea.
Yeah.
So we're kind of always doing some fun things. So I think it's always a good experience. Always fun. Yeah.
That's nice.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Because
and now you've got to say that it's the same seeing me and it's fun.
It is 100. I was just about to say that. I was oh my gosh, you just set me up for a trap and I fell straight into it.
Did.
No, but no, it genuinely is. You're always so bubbly, and you constantly make fun of me, which is quite funny.
Which is unlike me entirely.
Most people, when they see me, they're like a little bit overly nice to me.
Okay.
Do you know what I like? I like being ribbed. Do you know what I mean? I like a roasting. It's quite good. It puts you back in your box where you belong. but no, it genuinely is always a pleasure. When I see you doing your stuff, you're always so full of energy about it, and I can see what you're doing for the kids that are coming over to make the crafts, and you're just so passionate about all the design stuff you do. So let's talk about that.
Thank you.
Well, in fact, let's go all the way back. We'll go through a whole thing of the history and story. When they used to bring out the red book,
Okay. Yeah.
This is your life. Do you remember?
Okay, we're going way back.
So we're going to page 1. Okay. So you born in Luton?
Yes, born and bred. I've got family here, my grandparents. So a couple of generations of Lutonians.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm kind of been here my whole life, basically. So I started, I went to school, and then I went to Ashcroft High School, and then went to Barnfield College, and then left Luton to go to university. So that was my kind of where I went.
Yeah.
But that was never really the plan. So when I got into high school, I kind of went through this phase of not really sure what I wanted to do, as everyone does. And you feel like you need to make that decision really quickly, right? And you feel like you need to know that at 16, and no one knows. But I suppose what happened for me, and he'll never ever like admit to this, and I always sing his praises, and he's like, stop it. But basically, David Lloyd became my drama teacher. Now, when I first met him, obviously David Lloyd of NGYT, you know, and when I first met him, I hated him. Which he knows and he admits to, so like, I'm not saying anything that's new information, I promise. But he, like, we just clashed so badly, and we just didn't get on. And then at one point, he kind of turned around to me and just asked if I wanted to be in one of the end of year school shows that he was kind of working as director on. And yeah, and I ended up just going straight into it and loving it, and having a really positive experience and making loads of new friends across different kind of year groups. And then subsequently from that, I was then chose drama as one of my choices that you get in high school, and then continued to do performances at the end of year shows. So I was in all the musicals in the years until I left. So that was a really kind of positive thing for me, and it sort of changed the direction of what I wanted to do. Yeah. It's weird because in school I was sort of told that if I wanted to choose to do like drama and art, then I wouldn't really be very successful, and it would be better for me to go into doing something like history or, you know, and being a bit more kind of academic with what I want to do, because I was quite an academic kid. Like I was, you know, pretty much in kind of top sets in school. I was doing all right, you know, I did pretty well across my grades. But I just didn't really enjoy it as much.
Yeah, like love wasn't there.
Yeah, there was no kind of love for it. Whereas actually when I was performing, it was just so much more fun. Like you have so many different friends and you have loads of different experiences. And that sort of storytelling and being able to kind of share with others was what I really enjoyed doing. So yeah, I just kind of went, well, screw you guys, I'm not listening to that. And then went and did kind of drama, art. I ended up doing a lot of 3D art in Barnfield, and that was really good because a lot of my friends actually went to sixth form. Yeah. And I wasn't allowed to go there because I wanted to do art and I didn't do it as a GCSE. Oh, okay. So I then went to Barnfield and did like a BTEC and had another whole separate experience, whole separate group of friends. And that was, again, really positive and kind of just expanding my pool of people, basically. Yeah. And then as a result of that, Barnfield really pushed me to then go to university, which I'd never even considered before. And that kind of came out of nowhere, and I found out about theatre design, didn't even know it was a career, and then just went from there, really.
That's a cool story. Do you know what? I just want to break that down a little bit.
Yeah, well, sorry, that was like a real brief overview.
Yeah, no, that was so much. I mean, like, firstly, you know, going to school, you know, I like to talk about this sort of stuff with people because I have a lot of young fans who, you know, they watch my stuff, and I get, it is actually crazy the amount of young people that come up to me and say, I watch your podcast, right?
That's
and I'm
really
like,
nice.
oh man, I need to moderate my language a lot better. To be fair, I put explicit in every single one. Fine. So I think that's how it works, and I get away with it because of that. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
But nobody's telling me otherwise.
Because you're Deadpool, you get away with it.
Yeah, nobody's telling me otherwise, so I'm just going to keep doing it. So yeah, but they come up to me and they, you know, they say things about their desires in life, and like they're, you know, I was talking to a kid recently. It was actually really sad. I won't say who it is, obviously, but I saw one of my fans on Twitter was having a bit of a breakdown, right? Yeah. And I messaged just to see if they were okay. And they were planning to kill themselves. Yeah. No, they were on the road to killing themselves. And, you know, I'm really glad that I stepped in to talk to them, because this is kind of all it needs in a situation like that sometimes, is to just be there for someone, and you can help them to get onto the road to recovery. Yeah. But yeah, the thing that they wanted to kill themselves for was their not GCSEs, their A levels, right? Because they were falling behind so far, and they were freaking out because, like, my life is ruined, and you know, the guy's only like 18, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the thing is, it feels like the be all and end all at that point in your life, you know. Yeah. And I can completely understand that, because I felt the same. You know, there's so much pressure on you know, young people to be constantly being the best in your year, be the best academically. And actually, not everyone is particularly academic. There are some people who are much more creative, some people who are much more hands-on, and they enjoy doing things like, you know, electronics. You know, some people are really good at like design and tech, you know what I mean, like DT when you did that in school. And like if you're better at like soldering bits of wire together than you are at like doing a math equation, then that's what you're better suited to be doing. But I think obviously there is the expectation that you have to get your maths, English, science, otherwise you completely can't do anything. Not always the case.
Definitely not. No, 100% not.
No, absolutely. And you can absolutely do other things. You know, when I was in college, you do like a different type of maths or a different type of English. You do like functional skills, and that's the equivalent. So you have other opportunities that you can do that.
But there might be a subset of maths where it's like, you know, like statistics, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You might be excellent at statistics, or there's so many different parts to just maths, or to science, and to kind of blanket them under one thing and say you must achieve this grade. That doesn't make it, you know, I know that things are a lot different now and they are broken up a lot better, but you know, it's the pressure that's what really bothers me, because it is worse now. You know, my daughter at the moment is studying night and day. Like she's so good. Oh my God, she's amazing. You know, she's coming to the end of school now, and she's got her head on. She knows what she wants to do, and she knows what she loves and everything. And she is smashing it out of the park every single time. But for her to do that, she's working 24/7. Literally, she's waking up in the night worried about it.
Exactly.
Like, that's not good to be living like that as a kid.
She shouldn't be. You shouldn't be so stressed to that point. And also, there's something to be said about having the support network outside of school. Like if you do or don't have that, then you're going to have slightly different experience to somebody that maybe does not. So, you know, there's a lot of different factors that go into it, and it's not just every kid has the same amount of support and every person is the same. It's not like that. And also, not everyone's brains work the same. You know, there's a creative half of your brain and there's a more academic part of your brain, and some people have
lean one way or the other.
Exactly. So there's no, I don't know. I think when you end up going into sort of college and things, you have a bit more freedom to choose. You know, I mean, it's different every time. Every time I feel like I look at the school system, it sort of changes compared to what I experienced. Obviously, I went to high school up until 16. Then left and chose to go to the college that I wanted to go to. But I know now that you have to stay in school until 18. And I know that sometimes schools have sit forms attached to them. But I think, from my understanding, you do have a bit more choice on what you can do. And I think that really does free you up into what you can and can't do. And even if you don't do that well at certain subjects, it's not the end of the world. And you know, there is the opportunities that you can then go into university, or you can go into practical work. And it's not the end of the world that you don't have things. You can go straight into work.
I've got a friend who this guy that, you know, he left school, didn't have much in the way of GCSEs, but do you know what he did have? He had a good hard work ethic. And what he done is he created a gardening company for himself, and now he's absolutely minted. He's absolutely minted.
And in COVID, that was massive, wasn't it? Like because everyone wanted their gardens done, everyone was outdoors. So like that landscaping was fantastic for people. So
it doesn't matter like what the thing is. You can be successful in absolutely anything. I saw a really funny post actually yesterday of this guy who I can't really say too much of what he said because it was like really disgusting. But basically he was putting it out there, saying how much of a big man he was in the, you know, in his money. And I don't like people like this. They're that flashy, right? But he said all of this stuff about how big and brash and flashy he is. And then he ended it with, and by the way, I clean bins for a living. Right, and he's on his car number plate. It's Mr. Bins.
That was really unexpected.
I know, right? I know. But do you know what? Like, even though you might kind of laugh about it, but like, you know, he's really proud of that, and do you know what? He's actually successful as well. So if anyone comes and makes fun of him, like he can turn around and be like, "Well, look, I've actually done something with myself," and
achieved something,
which is it's a really good thing. You know, I do think that it's not always like a fair balance of like, you know, opportunity to like actually getting something, right? Like like, you know, there are people who are literally starting on the first rung of the ladder, and there's people that are starting already at the top.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And there's people in the middle, and it's not fair at all.
No, there's no level playing field.
No, but you can cut through that ladder by being so focused.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something about just committing yourself to something.
Yeah.
Just anything that you find interesting, I think go for it, because that's something that I felt when I was younger. I felt like I was being told what I should be successful at. And like, yeah, fine, like history is a great subject. And now that I'm older, I find history really fascinating. Like it's one of my favourite subjects, and I almost wish I'd studied it. But I don't think it would have given me as much of a kind of open mind, or like as much of a fruitful kind of opportunities outside of school. Do you understand what I mean? Just because somebody in school was going, you need to do that, I was kind of like, yeah, but that's not what I love. That's not what I'm feeling passionate about right now. Yeah. So, and I think that as long as you're feeling passionate about something, that's a good feeling, and you should kind of just pursue that.
It's so cheesy, but follow your heart.
Yeah, you should.
It's massively. So cheesy,
so don't use the word passionate. It's such an overused word, but you know, it is. It's right. You're right, and it just, if you can find something that brings you a bit of joy, that's good. Yeah. And like, you know, do something you love. You never work a day in your life. Like all that kind of stuff is, you know, it's much easier.
Well, that's the thing. When you're doing something that you love, it's not work.
It's not.
It's not work. It's fun. It's like, and do you know what? That is the best thing with anything that you can do. Like, you know, I've had some jobs over time where I've not been fun. They've been jobs, right? And then I've had some jobs that are just like, so, you know, I remember when one of my favourite jobs that I had was working in the kitchen as a chef. I absolutely love food. I can't explain how much I like, you know, I've got on my dad's side of the family, there's a lot of chefs.
Is there?
Yeah. So like, you know, for me, it's like, it's just a natural thing for me, like and it's not even, it sounds so weird, but like I didn't meet any of them until this year. So, you know, I'm like getting on now. So it's been a long time of not knowing any of them. And then when I found out who they were and that they're all chefs, it was like, oh my God, because I've always been a chef. I've always, like, I love cooking.
But you didn't know that about your family, did you?
No, I didn't know it at all.
It was kind of like a calling.
Yeah, in my mum's side of the family, all shit at cooking.
Don't let her hear you say that.
Everything is black and just charred, and it's just not in a good barbecue way.
Grilled.
Char grilled pizza, like everything. Seriously, man, it just does my head. But no, I'm joking. But,
so you're the chef of the family.
Yeah,
you cook everyone's food.
Well, not for them. It's like more of a thing that I'd done it as a job.
Right.
When I left school, it was my first job, being a trainee chef.
Amazing.
And yeah, I done it. I didn't do it for massively long because I lost the job, unfortunately, which is a story on itself, but I won't tell it on the podcast. I'll tell you after, but I won't tell you on the podcast. But basically, yeah, I done it for a bit of time, and then I just fell in love with it, and like I was like this. And do you know what? I really kind of hate myself for not pursuing that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's where I had my issue, and this is where I think a lot of people have issue, is that they have too many people in their ears. Yeah. And I found it really hard to shut them out, like to go, this is what I want, because everyone would say to me, yeah, but you're not going to make any money from it, and you don't even have any qualifications to get into it, and it's really hard to get into it, and the hours are long, and blah, 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 blah. And they didn't once say, but you're passionate about it, so you should follow it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, overuse the word passion. Passionate.
But it's the right word to use, I think, as much as like, I was always told in college, don't use that word because everyone uses it. But, you know, what else can you use? You know, if you feel like a special way about something and it kind of brings you...
But how did you do it? Because this is confusing. Like,
what do you mean?
Well, because like that is, you're doing well academically. I can imagine the whole situation. You're doing well academically, right? But then the passion that you have is completely opposite to that, right?
Yeah.
So you must have had people like in your ear all the time telling you, like, you can't do this, or like, this is a bad idea, or did you just have a full support around you all the time?
I think because it kind of started when I was in high school, you know, that sort of transition into drama, like, and doing, I mean, I didn't think of it that seriously at first, which is, you know, I was only like, how old are you in like year 8, year 9, like 11, 12 or something like that? Are you 13? I don't know, something like that. So, yeah, I was only like 13, 14, and I wasn't, you just kind of, you're messing around in school, aren't you? Like, nothing really seems that serious. But I guess for me, because that was quite a sudden, like, gear shift, going into kind of year 10, 11, and choosing to do that, that was my real sort of direction from that point.
Yeah.
And I hadn't realised that that's what it was, but I think everyone saw that I was enjoying it. Everyone saw that it was kind of making me happier, like a better person. I feel like before that, maybe I wasn't so much of a good kid. I don't know, like I wasn't badly behaved, but just my attitude and stuff, you know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of just changed how I was feeling, and it changed my group around me, changed my surroundings, and sort of made me feel like I was kind of going in a new direction, which felt right for me. So I think at that point, everyone was sort of supporting me. I feel like I'm very fortunate. My parents have been very supportive of everything that I've chosen to do. And it is that thing of, you know, yeah, maybe you won't earn thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
You're not going to be a bloody millionaire. But like at the end of the day, that's not really my goal right now. Like that's not the goal that is realistic to me. But what is realistic is I want to actually have fun and want to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess for me, what I also found really difficult in school, which I'm sure some of your listeners will completely like feel this, is that I got so stressed when it came to exams. I suffered really badly with anxiety before exams. And at that point, I didn't know that that's what I was feeling. Like the kind of mental health issues weren't really spoken about as much back then. But I know that I was so anxious and so nervous before going into written exams, where you sit in a room on a tiny desk on your own and just like with like hundreds of other people in the school hall and just like write, you know, answer questions. I hated every single moment of that, the queuing up beforehand, the whole way through. And I just panicked so much. And I found that really difficult. And as soon as I felt that, and then I learned that like drama and media, they're the two things that I chose to do as like my subjects. We didn't have to do exams for them. So I was like, yes, I'm done with exams, like as little as exams as I can do as possible. Great. So that was another kind of thing for me where I just didn't want that sort of stress. And a lot of that is kind of coursework based and based on what you produce. So like media was kind of designing magazines and doing artwork and stuff and drawing, and then drama was the more physical kind of storytelling. It's
all more hands-on.
It's coursework and it's based on what you're producing. And then that's why I ended up going, well, not why, but it was one of the reasons I ended up going on to doing a BTEC, because that was all coursework based and there was no exams as part of that. You get marked based on the work that you're producing as part of your projects that you're set. So that was a real big part for me as well. So I guess for me, it was having, having somebody support, like my parents were very supportive of what I wanted to do. And I had David, who support, like Mr. Lloyd back then, who was also supporting my choices. And like, you know, then going in, it's kind of, there's a real big thing to be said about teachers and kind of tutors really sort of nurturing you.
If you've got a good one, you can, the sky's the limit.
And if they see potential in you and if they want you to follow that. So yeah, I think for me it wasn't people in my ear go, like there was a few people going, you should be doing history, you should be doing something more academic. But at the end of the day, I had more
positive voices.
They rang out true, and and I understood that more, and they were more important to me.
You're so lucky you had that. That's very, very fortunate. Do you know what? I've just realised I've not turned my airplane mode off. We're fine. We're still rolling. Don't worry. Yeah, we're fine. I've just realised it. It just popped into my head. If someone rings me, we're screwed. There we go. Flight mode is on. I'm so sorry. Do you know what? I'm just really unprofessional.
No, mate, honestly, there's no expectations here.
you know, we're talking about like, you know, the development and going towards things and goals and stuff like that, right? Like for doing all of this stuff, this has been a bloody struggle. I'm not a tech person. I'm not a media person. I'm not like an actor or an interviewer, or I'm not any of those things. Never have been any of those things. And when like someone gave me the idea to do a podcast because of what I was like wanting to do, they were like, you know, because I love podcasts, right? I absolutely love podcasts. I love talking. Like, you know, if you haven't this is going to be episode 47.
Wow, okay. That's amazing.
47 episodes of me talking with someone else, but it's mostly me talking for like an hour. Like there's so much of me talking. But do you know what? Do you ever just get sick of the sound of your own voice?
I mean, yeah, sometimes, but I don't record my own voice.
Oh my God, I can't stand it. If I hear my own voice now, I'm like, turn it off, turn it off. I don't want to hear it because it makes me feel sick. I don't like it at all. This is like, part of my problem in the process of making this is I can't watch any of it. Because if I watch it, I'll delete it.
Oh, no.
No, seriously, I will. Yeah,
No,
I will. And people have told me you just have to get out your own way sometimes, right?
Get out of your own head.
Exactly. So, doing this, it has been like a long process of me trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and how to get the microphones to work, and how to make sure that the phone doesn't turn off mid-recording.
Yes.
That actually happened. I had a podcast back in December I think it was on New Year's Eve. I had a podcast with Hina Shafi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was amazing. We cried in it.
Really?
Yeah, we both cried. It was amazing. I can't explain to you how good it was. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Didn't record.
No.
Didn't record.
Oh, what a nightmare.
We just had a really nice chat in the end.
Oh,
that
but
was all
then
it
maybe
was.
that's a bit therapeutic in itself.
Yeah, it was kind of nice because I just forgot the camera as well. I really try to forget it's there, and then I just have a chat with someone. And
forgot so much that you didn't actually turn it on.
Yeah, basically, I wasted like a whole day essentially, and she's a busy lady as well. So yeah, I've been trying to sort it out to get her back on. We're going to do it at some point in the future, but yeah, it was just one of them times where it's happened multiple times.
But this is the thing; it's all trial and error, isn't it? And when you want to try something new, you just got to give it a go. You just got to throw yourself into it, like anything.
Exactly. You're right.
Go, carry on. You'll learn it as you go. You'll get there.
Yeah, I think it's working. I'm quite excited for what our future holds. I'm hoping to get as time goes on. It started off like I was just getting like kind of a couple of people who I follow on that were kind of interesting, but now it's like turning into I'm getting some like extremely cool people coming on, like yourself.
Thanks.
And I've got more coming up. I don't like to announce who I've got. I like it to just be a surprise. Like I don't tell anybody who's coming on. Nobody knows the schedule or anything.
That's exciting though.
Yeah, so I can just drop
surprises.
People are like, "Oh my god, you got him on! Or you got her on!" Like, no, that's crazy.
And the thing is, the more people that you get, the more kind of like recognition it's going to get, and it's just going to keep growing. So that's
hopefully, in the grand scheme of things, maybe this can do a bit of good. It has done a bit of good. I've had people on the podcast who have talked about an issue, and I've had a fan reach out and say, "Oh my god, that helped me." You know what I mean? That's like direct. Like that's what I wanted this to be, and it's actually working.
And that's why you don't delete any episodes.
I promise I won't.
No deleting.
I just won't watch them. I don't. Do you know what? It's actually kind of. This is why whoever my guest is has to be on their game. Yeah, because honestly,
you didn't tell me this.
You have to be on your game because at the end of it, you've got an opportunity to go. You can delete that. You can delete that. You can delete that. Okay. Yeah, that's up to you. I won't be deleting anything. Yeah. So I kind of feel like the pressure's off of me anyway. I can relax during these things and know that I am going to mess up constantly, and it's actually more on your head.
No pressure.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about it. Anyways, let's talk about some things that are coming up and some things that are like going on around and stuff, and maybe some future plans for you as well. So are you doing anything for the coronation this weekend?
No, I'm working. I'm going to be working,
Okay.
I'm not doing anything like major. I might watch it with my friends maybe, and then I work in the evening because I work at the Bear Club.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing that in the evening, and that's my day. Really.
Oh, fair enough.
That's really boring, isn't it? What are you?
No, not really. No, I haven't got planned. I got invited to a coronation party. I think it's at London.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in London.
Good.
Which will be fun. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest royal.
No,
I'm not gonna
really
slate them,
either.
Either. I've always kind of maintained number one, there's a lot of royalists that would come for me if I say too many bad things about them. But it's a hard one. It's a hard one for me. I think that it's kind of disgusting that they're spending as much money that they're spending.
It's very over the top.
That really upsets me when, food banks are at an all-time high.
I know, it's ridiculous. When we're all completely struggling.
What the hell is going on? It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. I'm trying to try and think of a situation where there's something that it's kind of like, going to McDonald's or whatever, and buying a burger, eating a burger, then you buy another burger, you eat another burger, and then you buy another, and you just keep gorging yourself on burgers, until the point where you can't eat any more burgers, but you keep buying them, and then you go outside and throw them in the bin in front of a homeless person.
Yeah.
This is what it kind of feels like to me. You know what I mean?
It's like throwing away money on a day.
Yeah, like
one single day.
But I know that it's going to generate money as well.
It will, because there are so many people, and this is the thing as well. I don't know. Have you ever watched The Crown on Netflix?
I've watched bits of it. Yeah.
So when I watched that, and like thinking about back when they kind of used to do all these sort of large ceremonial kind of events, it was a lot of the time it's because it's kind of, you know, bringing up public engagement and kind of, you know, giving the people something to be happy about and all this kind of stuff, like celebrating marriages and, you know, crownings and stuff like that. And when the Queen did it, it was the first kind of like major televised, it was live televised, the event and all that kind of stuff, to homes around the country. And that was kind of innovative. They'd never done that before. And it was, you know, a lot of it was radio before that. So this was on TV screens around the world. So I guess for that, it was new and it was exciting and it was fantastic. And, you know, and she was so young, and it was kind of different. But I think for this, I don't know if it's it doesn't feel like the right time or place, like, you know, read the room kind of thing.
Yeah.
But equally, like,
but at the same time, he's got to be crowned.
He has to be, yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
He has to. Like, we need to move this process along. Yeah. I just think, you know, go to Wetherspoons, mate. You know what I mean? No, but do you know what I mean? Okay, don't go to Wetherspoons. You're a king of England, yeah. But
get a paper crown.
I get it, yeah. He has to maintain this certain level of stature because he's the king of England. I get it, yeah.
It's business as usual. That's what they do.
I don't really like these posing sort of things though, where it's like because he's the king, he has to pose as the king. Yeah, do you know what I mean? What I would really like to see. Do you know what they're trying at the moment? I know the Royals are trying really hard at the moment to try and like get back public opinion of them, you know, to get more people to, you know, I think that this year at the coronation, they're going to have people of every faith that reside in the UK, you know, like the big major faiths at the coronation, which they've never done before for a coronation. So this is huge, yeah. Like, and I think they're doing that to try and get more people to be supportive of them, because I know like favour for them is lacking, especially like with some of the things that come out in the news about them. But you know what would really do it for me? Is if he was like, do you know what? We're not going to do this day in the same way that we've always done it. We're going to do something new. We're going to involve everybody and we're going to give back. We're not going to take, we're going to give back. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to give you this whole promise of that, you know, well, we're going to get revenue from this, because we know they line their pockets with that as well.
I think, I agree. I think it doesn't need to be the big spectacle that it has been previously, because there is something, you know, there's something to be said about what is happening in our country right now, in that lots of people are really struggling, and I don't think lots of people would appreciate seeing that on their TV.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
because it is, like you say, a lot of money.
This place is a classic example where we are right now. We're in Marsh House right now for this podcast, and Marsh House is incredible. Do you know much about Marsh House?
I've been there a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool place. Like, to think of how it's just a completely community-led thing that is here for the people of this community, which is a very poor community in this not just in this town, but you know, in this country. Marsh Farm and Lucy Farm are like some of the, you know, the lowest income places that you can live in the UK. It's really, really sad that like this exists, especially, you know, we're in a town, not to say that it's okay, but normally it's northern towns that you have this issue with low income and stuff. And the southern towns you don't tend to, because of the proximity to London, right? But Luton is like a northern town in how like we're treated by the government and in how you know, finances work for people in this town. There is a lot of money here, but there's a lot of pain and poverty here as well. Yeah. And a place like Marsh House, this is beautiful. I love like the energy of these people, and like that's what I want to see. Like, if the Royals want to get us back, the best way to do it is to like, let's fix the bloody country, man. Like, you know, be the leader that you're supposed to be. Lead us into somewhere where we can be proud and like not, you know, have the fear of like children going hungry at night. Like, it's crazy. I talk to parents all the time, and they're like, "I don't eat, so my kids can eat." Yeah. No, man. How is that? You're not 100% as a parent if you're not eating. Do you know what I mean? You can't. And like, you know, I work at the food bank as well. You know, I don't work at the food. I volunteer at the food bank. You know, every now and then, as often as I can. And I've seen myself firsthand that the food going out is getting more and more and more, and the donations are about the same. You know what I mean? So like when I was first volunteering for them last year, this is only a year, like I was volunteering for them, and they were picking food that was like expiry date 2022, 2023, yeah? But that stuff's gone as soon as it comes out of the door now, right? They're picking food from like 2024, 2025 now, like, so they like a year or 2 years ahead now, like what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you the enormity of the problem, and it's getting worse. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. So, like, yeah, that's my thought. I'm sorry if I've offended any royalists, but that is how I feel, and I think that, you know, it's important to say how you feel about stuff like this.
I completely agree. And I think, you know, there are better ways to spend money across the country. Like you say, I think parents would be so much happier if there was some form of situation being put in place that could benefit them, rather than some form of spectacle that is not necessarily benefiting apart from the, you know, the country's kind of income generally, because it will just be, like you say, it will generate, you know, income, it will generate revenue, it will have a huge, there'll be people lining the streets and celebrating, but the actual root of the problem in our country at the moment is that people are really struggling with just heating their homes, feeding their children, and I think that's much more of an important thing to be 100%. On.
Let's go on something a bit more positive, because that was supposed to be positive and I ruined it. Never mind.
You did it.
But yeah, we've got the carnival coming up.
Yeah, we've got carnival coming up
as well. So are you involved in that? Are you doing it before?
I am, yes. So I've been working with UKCCF for a little bit, just kind of doing, you know, the events that we've been meeting each other at, doing a lot of kind of crafts and things. So I'm going to continue doing that on Carnival Day. But I'm going to be at the Hat Factory with Aaron Spendelow and doing some storytelling for kids. So we're going to be, so my role is sort of designing and decorating the space. We're kind of doing an under the sea. The theme is sort of coast to coast. So we're doing like an under the sea immersive sort of performance for young kids. And it's going to be come in, do some arts and crafts, and then listen to some storytelling, get involved. It's going to be all sort of, you know, textures and like getting involved in interactive. And we're going to be telling the story of the pirate and the mermaid. So
what is that?
Well, we're
don't spoil
we're making it as we speak, so there's
that's
no spoilers because it's not
this
there
is a brand new story.
Yeah, we're going to be writing a little new story. So it's a work in progress currently as we speak. We've just started kind of getting all the materials, like design ideas have all come together, because the thing is with design, you have to do that a lot further ahead in the process than actually like rehearsing or getting anything in, because you have to then line up what you're going to order, what you're going to do, how you're going to attach it together.
I'm guessing sometimes the script changes and then things that you've designed have to change as well, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it depends if it's a pre-written script or if it's something that's in like devised in the process. But if something big comes out of that change, if there is a change, then it has to be sort of like thought about within the design. But I think we've pinned it down, what we want to do and what we want to achieve in that room. So we're going to be doing some storytelling across Carnival Day I think we're from like 11 until like 1. So we're doing sort of different intervals during the day of Carnival. So
that's cool. That's cool. I'm excited for Carnival. It's one of the events that takes place in Luton that I think as a town we should be really, really tremendously proud of.
Massively,
you know, is it still the biggest one-day carnival?
I think it is.
The
I'm
UK
not sure if
or Europe like I can't remember what it was when we was kids. I know when we was kids it was the biggest one day in Europe, but I don't know if it's
don't know the facts and figures either. But do you know what? It's still
awesome.
We've got UKCC here. It's based in Luton, and you know all of that kind of fantastic. Their costumes. You know,
because they do it for like Notting Hill Carnival and stuff like that as well, don't they?
Yeah, take it to Notting Hill. So hopefully we're going to also be taking our storytelling to Notting Hill, because with Notting Hill they have like a children's day and they have the regular kind of like adults day, I guess, like the actual carnival day. But they also have a day, I think it's the day before, is the children's day, and they're really keen on kind of having lots of things for kids to do on that day. So hopefully we're going to be taking our little storytelling kind of immersive event over there. Yeah,
it makes me really happy to know that there's people still out there doing this sort of thing. Like, you know, Charlotte Reed.
Yes.
Yeah. So Charlotte's awesome, isn't she? Puppet.
Yeah, such a good friend of mine.
Puppet maker, and
she's incredible.
She introduced me to a world of puppets I didn't know existed.
That's so much fun as well.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I'm waiting for her. She says that she's going to invite me onto her YouTube thing.
Yeah.
To like, we're going to do a thing of she's going to teach me how to make puppets and how to be a puppeteer.
There you go.
How cool is that going to be?
Awesome.
I can't wait.
Really
I'm actually so excited. And then
really
do you know what? I'm going to be so annoying afterwards because everything will be done through puppetry.
You'll have like a little Deadpool puppet with you. It'll be sat on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Deadpool's here.
Well, I kind of do it already. Like when I'm not really feeling it, being like in the suit and stuff, but I want to put a video out. I use my little Deadpool teddy to talk for me.
Oh my god, amazing!
Oh, it's so much
That's
fun.
so good.
It's so much fun.
So now you have to have a puppet.
Yeah, I have to have a puppet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a comic book made as well.
That's cool.
How cool would that be?
Yeah, awesome.
I want to have like a crazy comic book where it's like, you know, it's about Luton's Deadpool, yeah, but it's like I'm genuinely like, you know, there's like Marvel's type stuff going on in Luton.
Nice.
So you're
going to set it in Luton? So is it going to be like drawings of like the town hall and all the different places?
I'm like fighting Wolverine in the middle of the town set. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It's going to be so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm in the planning of it at the moment, and I've got a couple of people who I'm thinking about asking to come and illustrate and stuff. Because there are some really cool illustrators in our town. Yeah, and that's what I want it to be. I want it to be. But then I don't know if Marvel will be annoyed with me.
Yeah, maybe.
Unless I give it out to free. If I give it out for free, I'm pretty sure I'm alright.
Probably. Or like maybe you just change the characters or whatever a little bit, so it's not Wolverine and it's like, you know,
Wolver Steve.
Yeah.
No, he's a guy. He's a real guy. Yeah, I tried to make him my rival.
Right.
You weren't interested.
Who is that?
Okay, so he's a guy on Twitter. Search him up. Wolver and then Steve. Yeah. And he's a small guy, who plays Wolverine.
Amazing.
Yeah, and goes Comic-Con and stuff like that as Wolverine.
Cool.
And he calls himself Wolf Steve. He puts really funny stuff up all the time as well. And I decided to try and make him my rival because I was like, I haven't got a rival. I need one. Yeah. How can you be a superhero if you don't have a rival? Yeah, of course. And, you know, Wolverine and Deadpool they have more of a love-hate relationship, right? So I decided to start kind of like going at him on Twitter, not in a nasty way, but like, you know, calling him out.
Yeah, goading him.
Goading him. Yeah, so, like trying to get him into it.
Come on.
Didn't bite once. Didn't bite once.
No fun.
Yeah, I DM'd him as well. I was like, come on, man. He was like, nah, not interested. Yeah, I know. I was like, seriously. Like, this could be so much fun. But yeah.
It's fine. You'll get a better enemy.
I do need a better enemy. No, but do you know what's going to end up happening? Whoever my enemy will be will actually start causing me real life problems. And it won't be funny anymore.
You'll be like regretting what you wish for. Then.
Yeah, exactly. Because ultimately, you know, if you're going to have an enemy that's a villain or whatever, then they're probably going to do some things that are questionable.
You might be starting getting pranked in the middle of the street.
Oh no, I actually do get that already. Like, oh seriously, I get stalked and everything.
Do you?
Yeah, seriously. No. I've got like, again, I'll say it off camera, but maybe I can say it on camera. Wait, let me check the time. Hold on. Okay, then sorry about that, people. Sorry to leave that bit out. Yeah, you don't know where to look now, do you?
And moving swiftly on.
That has to be possibly my favourite moment of the podcast so far. That nobody's going to know what I was. Oh God.
I love
Don't tell anyone.
The mystery.
No, but yeah, seriously, there are genuinely a lot of weirdos out there, like the ones I just told you about. And, you know, it's like just, I guess, you know, it's really frustrating because people just keep saying to me, it's just part of what you do.
No, it's not.
You just expect it.
You didn't sign up for that.
No, they're like, yeah, what do you expect? What do you expect? I'm like, I expect people to be bloody nice and to just leave me alone.
Be weird.
Yeah, not be weird. And no, this is not what people are. Like, there was, okay, so I had like this one time when I went into town to do my fundraising, right? But I didn't have anywhere to get changed. Yeah, because I normally get changed at home. I put all my like normal clothes over, and then I go out, so nobody knows it's me. Yeah,
toilets.
Well, yeah, but then it's a problem that then if anyone's watching a camera, I have to really think about what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Because the anonymity is so, like, I know there's a couple of people out there that know my name, but no one knows what I look like. Right, and that's really important. So. Yeah, there was this one time when I needed to get changed in town, but I didn't know where to, so I got changed in the alleyway. Right? Yeah, I know, it was weird. It was as weird.
Classy, right?
It felt really cool though at the same time. Like I was like, oh no,
you're literally like actual like
Spider-Man.
You're not Spider-Man, but it is like Spider-Man. He's just like in the corner, like got his backpack.
Bane of my existence.
I know you're not Spider-Man, but
everybody calls me bloody Spider-Man.
He's my favourite, so sorry.
Right, anyways, so yeah, I had to get changed in this alleyway, and then I left the bag behind the bin. Like Spider-Man.
Oh
I know, like Spider-Man. Just stop it.
Look, stop acting like Spider-Man then, okay?
I didn't stick it to the wall though. Right?
That's not one of your powers though, okay?
No. So I go into town, I do my fundraising, right? And then there's this guy who's just like hanging around afterwards when I'm like, right, I'm going now. See you later, people.
Yeah.
And I start walking off. He's been there, like stood there for ages, and then I turn around, he's following me. Right? I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
No, here we go.
Now I'm walking for a while, still following me. I was like, so then I take a long route around town. He's following me the whole time. So then I get round the corner and I just run, right? I run as fast as I can. And then I get back to the alleyway, get changed again. And I swear this happened. I swear, like, I only have, like, I had a friend who was nearby. He owns a shop nearby, right? And he saw this happen. He saw me go in the alleyway. He saw me come out. So he can confirm this happened. But I walk out of the alleyway and the guy that was chasing me literally walks past me. Yeah, I know. He didn't know. He didn't know.
Oh my God. You can put that in your comic. That's such a good idea.
I know, but I was like, because when I'm in this suit, it's like, it feels like you know what I look like. I know it sounds weird, but it feels like you can see me and stuff.
No, I don't know anything.
And so like walking out of there, I was like, he's going to know. He's going to know. I was literally shaking and everything. Like, but yeah, no, he didn't have to.
That's really good.
Yeah, I know.
That's such a good story. You should definitely put that in your comics. So good. Yeah.
Oh, I've got so many. Fantastic. I've got so many crazy weird things that happen in the suit.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, and the problem is I don't write any of it down. Like I'm so useless.
You need a little notebook. Look, you've got so many pockets. Why don't you have a notebook with you? Gosh, you need a little notebook and be like, this is what happens. Dear diary, Deadpool diary.
I should do a Deadpool diary. Oh my God, that's such a good idea.
See, look, all these pockets.
Yeah, I know, but they don't. Like this one has my keys. This one has my business cards. Have you ever had a business card? Look, this one's bent, but you can have that.
Thank you so much. I've never had one.
Nice little message in the back as well.
I like you dressed up.
Yeah. And then that message is from Deadpool 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I had to change a bit of it because it's a little bit too vulgar what he actually says.
Fine. Yeah, and, make it a bit, family friendly.
I don't want parents to like take the card and be like, ugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, this has been really fun.
Yeah.
I've really, really, really enjoyed this. We should do this again. No, deadly serious. Like I think
we completely like gone off on a massive.
We just become like good friends now.
I think we might have been.
Up top, come on.
Yeah. We just went on a massive tangent about loads of different things.
Yeah. That's what life should be like, though, a tangent.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it kind of is. If you really boil it down to life is just a tangent of you going from one thing to the next, and there's not really much connection between the things you go.
And there's no pressure to know what you're doing, what the next tangent will be. There's no pressure for that. You just enjoy the ride as you go. I love that. I was literally just about to say to you, is there anything, I'll still say it because I want you to, have this moment to maybe express something that you desire to say to people or whatever, but, for you, if you was on the other side of that right now, watching this video, watching this podcast, and you're in high school, unsure of what you want to do in life, but it's you, and now you get to give yourself a little bit of advice because there's going to be a lot of people out there who are like you, in a crossroads maybe at a certain time in life, and a little bit from you might help. So look into the camera and give yourself some advice. I would probably say to just trust your gut, trust your instincts about what it is that you want to be doing. And I guess just have fun with it. Do you know what I mean? Like just enjoy, like I said, just enjoy the ride as you go and just have fun. And also, one of my biggest things, I won't say the word, but don't be nasty to people. Yeah. Don't be because in my world in particular, in theatre world, it's a very small community, very small, like lots of different people that you'll meet, but eventually you'll start meeting people who know that person, know that person, know that person. So I think one of the best things you can do is just be as much yourself as possible, but also just be really kind to everybody because you never know what people are going through. And also you never know who knows each other. So it's a very small world and just be kind to people. That is such a lovely way to end this. This has been an absolute experience of my life having this chat with you. It's been wonderful. Seriously, it's been really good. I feel like I've come away from this
and I feel like I've learned some stuff, not just about you, but even about myself, some things that I can apply to myself. And I think that this is going to be a really successful one. And I guarantee I'm going to get a lot of messages of people saying, like, oh, who is this girl? Like, I want to know more about her. And, you know, you may start getting messages as well, people coming to you for advice, because I'm just going to go ask her. Don't ask me.
I'm definitely not the person to go to for advice.
No, you definitely are. You know, you've lived a very colourful experience so far. And I can't wait to see what you're going to do next. Like, I'm looking forward to this pirate and mermaid story. I really am. I might try and come to the Hat Factory. So send me.
You should.
Do you want to promote that actually?
Deadpool Under the Sea. Well, it's on. So Carnival is on the 28th of May. So it will be I think it's from 11 till 1. She says. I think it's around that time when we'll be doing things in the Hat Factory. So come along. It's free to book. So it's just, you do have to book in advance because we have a certain amount of limit of how many people we can have. But yeah, book in advance, come in, explore the space and have fun with our storytelling pirate and mermaid and make some crafts and have an amazing day enjoying under the sea, basically. Awesome. All right, well, thank you very much, Laura. Oh, I nearly called you Laura, didn't I? Right, cancel the whole podcast. I'm so sorry, I've done it. You've done it again. Look, we made friends at the start and now we're not friends anymore. That's what it takes, like 45 minutes. And wrong name. I've made a friend and lost a friend in 45. That's got to be a record. That has to be a record. Well done, yeah. You did a good job. All right, no, thanks very much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Love you, Luton. Okay, wonderful.